Hey guys, it's Christine and I'm going to do a quick editing tutorial teaching you how to add color to a black and white image. The first thing you need to do is you need to have a color image open, and then you take a black and white version of the same photo and put it right on top. So now your top layer is black and white and your bottom layer is color. Now, one way you could do it is you could just take the eraser tool and erase. But the problem is if you go outside the lines, you cannot bring it back. So that causes some problems because then you have to get it perfectly. And if you bleed over a little bit, then now you have to just redo the whole thing. So the easier way to do this is add a layer mask. So you want to make sure your black and white image is selected. Go to the bottom of the screen where there's a square with a circle inside. Add a layer mask. Click. Select your paintbrush tool. Make sure it's set to black. And then you can come in and you can erase. The black paintbrush is going to get rid of the top layer, and the white paintbrush is going to bring the top layer back. So I'm going to bring back the color of the apple. And I think when you're working with a color pop image, you should really have probably a kind of hard brush because you want the lines to be pretty defined. And then I'm going to go to my white brush and I'm just going to get rid of all this stuff that kind of I didn't want to change. And you should get it as close as you can. But once you zoom out, it's going to look good. And then I like to kind of make sure it's on and off a few times to make sure I haven't missed anything. It kind of shows up pretty easily if you toggle back and forth a few times. So you scroll back, you see that just the apple's in color, but one thing I like to do on an image like this is I don't like it to be like 100% color. I like it to be a little bit black and white, just so it's not so distinct. So the white layer brings back the black and white. So I'm going to reduce the opacity of the brush. I'm going to put it at 20%. And I'm going to paint over this. You can see how it darkened a little. If you can see how that just darkened it a little bit. It kind of makes it look a little bit more natural. I think you could even do it one more time. So if you click on it again, it'll go a little bit darker. Every time you click, it'll go a little bit darker, but that kind of makes it blend a little bit better. And, then if you want to add color in anywhere else, you could certainly do that too. So if I wanted to just bring, at 20%, bring a little bit of color back into the bear, just paint 20% on the bear. I'm just going to do this real fast for the tutorial. And then any lines where I didn't mean to color. The only problem with doing it at a low opacity is if you miss a spot and you do it again, it layers on thicker every time you go over it. So you kind of have to get the whole thing right. And really, it's fine to kind of like spill over the edges and then go back to your white and then clean it up. And that's really all there is to it. Adding color to a black and white image. The most practical way is using a layer mask. And you just do that by just clicking that button right there and using your white and black paintbrush to get rid of the top layer and bring it back.